As we get towards the end of the series, today I'm talking about the self-titled 2016 album by Flotsam and Jetsam. This release marked the studio debut of a new drummer who joined after longtime member Kelly Smith left to prioritize his family. To support the album, the band signed a global deal with AFM Records and utilized specialized double bass drumming techniques. Critics and fans consider the record a return to form, successfully blending old school speed with modern production. There was also a confusing single called Iron Maiden that paid homage to the legendary metal group. There's a lot going on. Let's talk about it. In 2014, Kelly David Smith had to leave the band as he had some urgent family matters that needed his presence. So the band hired Jason Bittner. They needed someone quickly as they were preparing for their next studio album. How he joined was largely due to a personal recommendation from Kelly Smith himself. Smith helped the band search for his replacement and put Bittner on his shortlist, calling him an amazing all-around drummer, a true professional, good friend, and a solid stand-up guy. This connection brought their history full circle. After first meeting in Boston in 1988, Bittner had told Smith that he was a major inspiration to his own drumming. Bittner's decision to join the band was driven by his decades-long passion as a fan. He had followed Flotsam and Jetsam around the East Coast in the 1980s and 1990s, and had previously served as a supporter and gear leader to Kelly Smith. Bittner committed to making Flotsam and Jetsam his primary focus as soon as he completed the spring-summer 2015 hiatus tour with his other band, Shadows Fall. The first single released for the album was called Iron Maiden. No, it was not a cover song of the Iron Maiden song by the band of the same name. It was their own original song. Lyrically, the song is about a medieval torture device which may or may not have existed in real life. But it was also a tribute to the metal legends. Musically, the track is a direct tribute to the famous British band Iron Maiden. Rather than being a cover song, it's an original speed and power metal anthem that has been described by reviewers as sounding like Iron Maiden on steroids. To achieve this tribute, Flotsam and Jetsam used Iron Maiden's hallmark classic gallop tempo, twin guitar harmony attacks, and a musical nod to the classic track The Trooper during the verses. The single marks one of the early showcases of drummer Jason Bittner with the band. His performance is defined by thunderous double bass kicks that drive the fast tempo of the song, with critics calling it some of the best drum work ever recorded on a Flotsam and Jetsam track. Frontman Eric A.K. Knutson alters his typical delivery to mimic Bruce Dickinson's operatic style. The stylistic choice divided critics. Some found his melodic delivery excellent, while others felt he stretched a little too far in his impression, or that the effect was made to sound weird and annoying due to heavy reverb added during studio mixing. One reviewer noted the title itself was slightly distracting, pointing out that naming a song Iron Maiden inevitably causes listeners to think of the band itself rather than the torture device. Despite minor production complaints, the track was highly celebrated as a triumphant throwback to the classic 1980s formula. One reviewer declared it flatly to be the best song the band had written since 1990's Suffer the Masses. A lot of fans mention that this album has some of the best drumming of their entire catalog. That is because Jason Bittner has a particular drumming style. He brought a more melodic edge and expressive and concise energy to his work. He plays lots of advanced double bass and footwork. To drive heavy and extreme metal tempos, Bittner primarily uses a heel-up manner of playing. As he plays faster, his heels drop slightly lower to help maintain control. Rather than pigeonholing himself into a single dominant lead, Bittner trains to play with both right foot and left foot leads. Alternating his lead foot helps strengthen his weaker foot and gives him the physical dexterity required for complex compositions. So I'm going to play a clip of him playing these different techniques, so let me do that right now.
Just 16th notes. "32nd notes. triplets. Or 16th note triplet.
He also adapts classic rock beats, such as modifying the traditional John Bonham triplet by starting with his left foot on the left kick to create a distinct, non-traditional feel. Bittner emphasizes that playing fast and hard rock and heavy metal is strictly a matter of endurance, built through repetitive practice. He relies heavily on metronome practice to keep his timing rock steady and to track his incremental speed progress, such as moving from 140 BPM and upward. On the self-titled album, his style provides a concrete consistency that effectively hammers the pace along. On tracks like Seventh Seal, his amazing drumming relentlessly attacks the listener, successfully carrying high-speed tempos across lengthy 6-minute tracks without losing power. The release of Flotsam and Jetsam's self-titled album on May 20th, 2016 marked a historic milestone as the band's 12th studio album. Coming 30 years after their debut, the album was widely embraced as a massive comeback and a major creative rebirth for the veteran thrash metal outfit. The band signed a worldwide deal with AFM Records for the release. Flotsam and Jetsam noted that they chose AFM because the label presented a legitimate business plan and showed a deep commitment to promoting the band. Releasing a self-titled 3 decades into their career was a deliberate statement. AFM Records A&R representative Timo Hoffman explained that they kept the title because the record holds the essence of what defines the band. Reviewers agreed, calling it a declaration of repurpose and a successful attempt to recapture the classic 1980s speed and power metal energy that originally defined them. In addition to the standard release, the band signed with Rubicon Music in Japan to release the album on June 29th, 2016, featuring an exclusive Japanese bonus track titled Once in a Time. The album was recorded with a fresh lineup consisting of classic vocalist Eric A.K. Knutson, returning original bassist Michael Spencer, guitarist Michael Gilbert, new guitarist Steve Conley, and drummer Jason Bittner. The band entered Sonic Fish Productions and Gnome Lord Studios to record the album. They partnered with Chris Collier of CMC21 Productions to handle the recording, mixing, and mastering, while UK artist Andy Pinkerton of Very Metal Art designed the album's skull-themed cover and stage production art. The album resonated strongly in Europe, peaking at number 46 on the official German albums chart. Media outlets and fans celebrated the release. Sputnik Music stated that the record successfully brought back the 80s thrash vibe in a way that placed it easily in the top 5 of the band's entire discography. Reviewers praised the prominent, glassy bass lines of Michael Spencer and the driving, modern precision of Jason Bittner's drums, which gave the band a renewed, heavier edge. Two tracks on the 2016 self-titled album that trace back their origins to the 1988 No Place for Disgrace era are LOTD and Forbidden Territories. LOTD stands for Legion of the Damned. This track was originally written during the band's original writing and recording sessions for No Place for Disgrace in the late 1980s. Reviewers noted that the song sounds like it was lifted straight off the 1988 classic and described as a straight-up, high-speed thrash machine with excellent lead guitar work. While it starts as a seemingly straightforward thrasher, the band shakes up the song's structure significantly around the 3-minute mark. Forbidden Territories is a 7-minute epic that was written by returning bassist Michael Spencer, who was in the band just before No Place. He wrote it during his time in the band Sentinel Beast. This band, Sentinel Beast, eventually recorded a version of it in 2009. In addition, a reworked version was recorded by Sentinel Beast guitarist Barry Fishel's project, Fishel's Beast, that same year. Not only that, the song existed as a Flotsam and Jetsam demo from the No Place for Disgrace era. Serving as the grand finale of the 2016 album, the song heavily mirrors the band's classic 1980s catalog, managing to resemble Hammerhead and N.E. Terror in equal measure. Its connection to the 1988 era is most prominent in its bass line, which features a glassy, dark tone and riff, highly reminiscent of the classic track I Live, You Die. Jason Bittner's tenure with Flotsam and Jetsam was ultimately very brief, making the 2016 self-titled release the only album he ever recorded with the band. Shortly after the album was released in May 2016, Bittner left the group to join legendary East Coast thrash metal veterans Overkill. Although his time with the band was short, his technically precise and high-energy drumming style left a lasting impact on what critics largely considered to be one of the band's finest modern-era albums. Next time we talk about The End of Chaos, the 13th studio album released on January 18th, 2019. This time they have a new drummer, and it would be the last album with bassist Michael Spencer before his split from the band in 2020. That will be next.